introduce you to our guest this evening, this afternoon, Mr. Brian Blessed. I don't suppose you want the microphone either.
My goodness me, it looks like the Last Supper. I've never seen... having listened to you all, it seems so easy for me to come along and just kind of open it and say hello. But I only do a few things, lots of things with animals, RSPCA, a born tree, and elephants, and this, that, and the other. I do an awful lot of things I believe in. And this struck me as being absolutely wonderful and real. And what it reminds me, there is a film called Lost Horizon, in which a man called Conway is in a long aeroplane with lots of people, and they get stranded in the Himalayas. And they come across Shangri-La, and this amazing place where people are amazingly happy. And of course he doesn't want to leave. He does leave, but he gets back at the end of the film again, and he comes to the snows and finds. And the last toast of the film is, Conway, we couldn't contain him. He left us, got through India, Burma, went into the jungles, up into the Himalayas, and disappeared. I'm quite convinced, this is the Garrick Club, that he actually did get back and found his Shangri-La. May we all, he said, find our Shangri-La. And this is a surprise to me, because I do open up a few things, but I've never seen anything of this standard. I mean, you keep saying I'm sick to death. I mean, age. I go into because I'm 78 and I climb Everest. I've been to the North Pole. I'm the oldest man to reach the North. I will not be restrained. And this idea, 40 is incredibly young. It's not middle age anymore. I think middle age may be between 55 and 65. But it's not how old you are, it's how you are old. And what this comes over here is, this isn't about age. It isn't about being old. It's about care. It's about a home. And when you see the news, and you see people being neglected everywhere, all over the country, the people, and the elderly, kind of second-class citizens, absolute rubbish. The Himalayas, the Sherpas, when they make the food, give the elders the food first. They're honoured for their brains, experience, and ability, and what they can bring to life. People beyond 50, 60, 70, 80 aren't old. They're people. And this place, you go down the corridors, it's been brilliantly designed, brilliantly thought out. The doors are all different colours. You've got restaurants, you've got care rooms, you've got all kinds of facilities. The gardens, I love gardening. I live just over there. I'm only about half a mile over there, in my kind of field over there. I love gardening, so I'm going to come along and look at the gardens, help tend them, come and have a coffee and a tea with you, and meet you. So it's not just coming here today and going away. That I feel this is a happening. It's a miracle. The facilities here, Mr. Mayor, they're sensational, aren't they?
Yeah,
I never expected this. I thought you'd be this and that in a corridor and a few rooms. 58 rooms? My God, and double rooms? Very encouraging, I think. We do need some notices about it. No sex, please, we're British. The facilities, we've got to have a breeding programme. I think all it lacks is a nursery. Anyway, but I just think it oozes happiness. But Lightwater, a lot of Lightwater. You've got the hairdressers, you've got budgeons, you've got the different shops, a multitude of the butcher, the variety of shops here, and they're lovely people. The whole area around here is full of wonderful, wonderful people from Troubleham and Windlesham and beyond and around here. I give books to the library and things like that. And it's kind of very thriving community. What an example this is. I've suddenly become a friend of the Prime Minister because I read on a couple of petitions. He congratulated me on my jokes on who do you think you are about Mrs. Thatcher's funeral, and that I could have made the coffin for 10 quid and all that. So I've got to know him very well, but he would absolutely adore this. I'm going to tell him about this. I see him now and again. He's a nice young man. I'm not talking about politics. He's a nice young man. He's a father and he lost a child. So he cares. And I feel this is all about care. But most important, it's a home. It's a home for people. I must say that a picture house, which I know you'll be seeing Flash Gordon shortly. So I'm not going to say, Gordon's alive! I mustn't say that. I mustn't say that. By the way, people always ask me about Flash Gordon, which has always been my favourite film. In case you don't know, I'm the Flying Hawkman. I'm the king of the Hawkmen, 2,000 Hawkmen. And there's a marvellous sequence in it, in which you see me with my 2,000 Hawkmen. I mean, in Batman, there's one man flying, or two. In Superman, one man or two people flying. Between 2,000 and 4,500 people flying. This sequence. And we attack the rocket ship Ajax. It took 5 days to get the special effects ready. They got the rocket ready, they got the monsters ready, they got us flying, with me an extra wire, you know where. We can't have a high-pitched voice. So I'm there flying down with all my wings. They got all the special effects ready, and I got this great big cannon, to shoot people. I've got a bazooka, because he's made of cardboard. Right, Brian? After about 5 days preparation, stand by. Action, Brian! Right, Flash, follow me! Squadron 40, dive! And we start diving down, and I get down, and there's the monsters. I'm going. I said, cut! Brian, we put in the special effects. I have never felt such a tit. I'm sorry, and even though it's just like champagne, I'd never say tit in front of the mayor, would I? But I mean, it's the most wonderful country. But you better see, I'm sure, we'll have a Flash Gordon evening and show the film, because I can't believe it was cinema. Amazing. I mean, it might even have Z-cars. I was Fancy Smith. In 1960, I was Fancy Smith in the black and white line. 60 or 65, Fancy Smith. I was the sexiest thing on television. I got about 50 million letters a week. The women didn't half love me. Don't be deceived by this great beard. By the way, I was at the O2 Arena yesterday and they announced me in Peppa Pig. I'm Grampy Rabbit. And all the children, about 30,000, said, please say the word. No, it's not Gordon's alive, because when ships get near my lighthouse as Grampy Rabbit in Peppa Pig, I shout, and the lighthouse doesn't work. So I go, fog! And it stops the ship. So I keep saying fog to all these kids, all screaming with laughter. They warm up every morning on my song in Peppa Pig. In the infant school, the Brontosaur song. Follow me, Brontosaur, jump, jump, hop, 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 jump, 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 hop, hop. So, darling, I've become Grampy Rabbit. You might even see that. But the cinema, restaurants. What is lovely is genius of people, marvellous people. Ken Branagh, who lives down the road, not as good looking as me, nor as talented. Ken's the only actor I really know. I mainly know explorers, and recently, I mean, my kind of love in life is adventure. I think the greatest danger, people say, isn't it dangerous going to Mount Everest? Isn't it dangerous going to the Lost World? Or going to the bottom of the sea? Or Brian, you're going to the North Pole. I would say the greatest danger in life is not taking the adventure. Now, I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I'm 78 a few days ago. I have just completed space training in Moscow. My big love is space. I know this has happened to Branson, but the Earth has got to rest. We are the children of stardust. We don't just belong here. And I'm part of the space program. And I've just completed 800 hours at Space City in Moscow, on Reunion Island in the Pacific with NASA. And I have finished my training with Putin watching, and I am now a fully trained cosmonaut, and I'm going to the International Space Station next July. Wow. I will not be restricted. And therefore this, it's about living, it's about home. It's not about people who are senile, who are dying of one foot in the grave. This place throbs with what? What does it throb with? Life! I mean, death is not the last word. Death, death. F off to death. Life is the last word. When has ever death an absolute imposter crap? Life! And I will not be restricted. I suppose, you know, I'm very downbeat, very quiet, because I'm being very noisy. Patrick Moore died, our wonderful Patrick Moore, Sky at Night, died, and he expressed a wish to find a home. It's extraordinary, you know, that he felt lonely in his house, that he wanted company, because he was a very kind of social creature, Patrick, this wonderful, wonderful man with his one eye up here, stargazing, the father of Britain, you might say. And anyway, he phoned me up, and I would have liked to have had him here. He'd have loved being here. And I went over there, and I held him in my arms, and he said, I want you, Brian, because he knows astronomy. I've just done a series now being shown soon with Dr. Brian Cox, Blessed Brian Cox. I'm doing astronomy together. It's going to be very exciting. I went to see Moore. Would you come over and see me? I'm going now, Brian. I'm going. Would you do Lollington Downs for me? Lollington Downs is a stanza. Just a few lines. Come and do it to me, Brian. And there he was in his armchair, and I held him. What should I think of it? Lollington Downs, John Masefield. I could not sleep for thinking of the sky, the unending sky, with all its million stars, which turned their planets everlastingly in nothing, where the fire-haired comet runs. If I could sail that nothing, I should pass through darkness and emptiness, with dark stars passing. Then in the darkness see a point of gloss burn to a glow, and glare, and keep amassing, and rage into a sun with wandering planets, and drop behind. And then as I proceed, see its last light on its last moon's granites fade to a night that would be dark indeed. Night where I might travel 1,000,000 years in nothing, not even death, not even tears. And I held him, and he died in my arms. I just put that sound somewhere, but Patrick, I can feel him now, would love to have been at a home like this. This isn't for putting people away. I mean, you'll be producing things here. You'll be gardening. You'll be writing. You'll be drawing. You'll be socializing. You'll have opinions. You will grow here. This is not a place for you to kind of die. It's a place to live. And I must say that it's so easy for me looking at this wonderful team, wonderful team, young people, wonderful people, that you put it together. And I don't think we can say thank you enough. I think you're wonderful. God bless.